Hello, happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together. So thanks so much for joining me here tonight. We are working on the embroidery of the month, which is our sleigh ride little guy there, and we started it last night, and we have a naked little horse here, and we are going to finish up his tail and then put on all his tack and halter and all that tonight. And I think we'll finish all that and maybe start on the sleigh. So we'll see how we get. All right, let's get started. Okay, zooming on over here. Okay, so this is where we left off last night. We got his whole outline done here, and we started on his hair, his mane, and we have a tiny little bit left of that. And then I want to jump down and do his tail. And then at that point, we're basically done with his body. Oh, I want to get his smile and his eyes. But then I'd like to start the like I don't know what this thing is, the thing that pulls, but like his reins and his halter, all that sort of stuff. So we'll get going on that next. So we'll be doing French knots tonight and chain stitches, and then we're gonna start out with the back stitch here. And I thought I had oh, here we go. Thought I had a piece ready to go. So this is just 3 strands of embroidery floss. We've already split our 6 strands up last night, and this is my second strand. So I'm using our floss scent thread conditioner here, mostly because it smells yummy. Oh, the yoke. Amy says it's the yoke. So his little yoke to pull the sleigh. I learn new vocabulary every time I'm on here, I feel like, especially when we're dealing with the animal stuff. All right, let's thread the needle here and get started. So I'm gonna weave in the ends here. We'll stitch this last little back stitch, and then I'm gonna just jump right to the tail. So right here at the bottom. But yeah, that thread conditioner smells yummy, our floss scent. That's my main reason for using it tonight. Ooh, you guys, I think we finally got the refrigerator situation sorted. Finally, we just actually got back from Best Buy. So we are on to our 3rd refrigerator that will be delivered like early January. And I think this is the one. So that first fridge was so loud, like twice as loud as our old, like 15-year-old fridge. And then this one that we have now that we replaced it with, we just hate it. It's just, the way it's set up is so awkward and it's just really uncomfortable. We don't like it. So we went and found a different one today, this evening. But we actually have to do a little renovation on the cupboard that's above our fridge right now because it's too tall, the fridge. We have just this itty bitty space. Like what they needed back in the day in the 40s when they built this house. So anywho, we like it. I think it's gonna be good. All right, so instead of like leaping right down here, I'm ready for the tail. I'm actually gonna go behind these stitches that are already there. Then we won't see this jump as much. All right, there we go. And let's see. A lot of lines here, but the tail is actually right here. We got a little extra little bit there. I'm gonna start continuing on with the back stitch here. I kind of want to do, we talked about this a little bit last night, but I kind of want to do another version of this where I do a black horse with like silver hair or like gray hair, I mean. I think that would be really cute. And a red sleigh. This one we're doing a little blue sleigh. But I think the black and red would be really kind of cool too. We'll see. Okay. So I think I might. I have this like extra little bit that comes up there. I think I might do that first and then hop back to this main line here. We decided last night that I'm gonna finish up the horse before moving on to the other areas. Even if there's colors that are used in other places, I'm just gonna do those colors later. We're gonna finish this horse first. All right, so here's where I'm gonna jump up and do this little bit here. Whoa, got my finger caught in there. I usually do that when I have less floss on the needle, and I always pull it from the needle. So this is technically our last ship day. So if you order any items today, we will sneak it in the mail tomorrow, probably still. But after today, we'll still ship, but it's a little less likely for it to get to you before Christmas. It's all of that is dependent on the post office. We're getting things shipped out right away, but yeah. So this year we gave it a little bit more leeway by having today be our last ship day. So we're hoping everything gets to you on time. Just to be safe. Man, those postal workers are working hard right now, that's for sure. All right, 2 little stitches here. I think, what did I say? The face next. Kind of want to do the face just to get it out of the way, because it's sad without his little smiley face done. We'll get 3 more stitches through here. So we talked about maybe making this into a pillow yesterday, and I still kind of like that idea. So I might end up doing that yet. Ooh, you know what? I think back in the day, like I'm digging in my memory of like deep of like what's hiding in my fabric stash in the basement. I think I have some like super fuzzy, like floofy, it's not a minky, but it's like what do they call it? Like the like lamb sort of like tiny little poofy fluff that's white. Just some, cheap acrylic, whatever. But that could be really cute surrounding this. Like if I cut this as a square and then put that like sheep's floof or whatever it is, I don't know. On the around it, that could be really kind of soft feeling and wintry, and we could do like a blue back or something that matches. That'd be kind of fun. That'd be very wintry, but I think that white like floofy fabric, I think it kind of looks like my sweater a little bit, like that sort of style. I think it might be stretchy, like a knit, like a stretchy knit. I'll have to find it in my stash, but that would be kind of a cute outside for this. All right, we are almost done with his tail here. Uh-oh. I'm gonna get a knot there, but we're good. You guys, we are already prepping for January's embroidery of the month. I mean, we're stitching this one, but man, the New Year's coming up. All right, one more stitch. We had just enough thread for this. All right. Done with the horse. We have a naked horse here. All right, let's weave in the end and get those eyes and the smiley in. Oh, fleece. It's like a fleece, but it's that weird kind of bobbly, fleecy stuff like this. Paula. I know there's a name for it. But for some reason, I think it's a knit. Why would I have gotten that? What project did I do with that? I don't know. Huh. Maybe I'll have to go digging in the basement and like my fabric's really well organized, so I think I can probably find it. I just haven't been in that bin in a while. All right, I'm gonna get my ink, which is the black thread, out, and we're gonna use this for his smiley face, his nostrils, and his eyes. Actually, now that I think of it, I might actually do his halter first, because this one little eye here, it's a French knot, and those are hard to do when there's nothing, when it's like floating out in space all alone. Oh yeah, like a Sherpa material. That's it, Jill. Like a Sherpa, like a fake Sherpa. Oh yeah, that's what Gina's saying too. Sherpa is what my shirt reminds me of. So it's like a fake Sherpa though. It's not like the nice wool and stuff. What I have. So it'll oh, you know what? I remember what I got it for. I was trying to make really soft pillowcases. It's one of those fabrics though you wash like a couple times and it looks like really like worn out. But if I used it for pillowcases, that means it probably wasn't stretchy. So I think it would be kind of cute for this little throw pillow. I think that'd be fun. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna do his halter, because then I'll have some stitches behind here that I can weave in and just jump over to the eye. I mean, I suppose I could do that in his hair here, but I don't know. Yeah, let's do the halter first. So that's the gray. I'm gonna do the like lines first, and then we'll fill in with these little circles. But maybe before I do those circles, I'll just get his eye done. So we're changing it up a hair. Oh, Lynn says, I can't believe I've been following you for 2 years now. Oh, that's awesome. I started with your face mask video and have been hooked ever since. Oh, man. Yeah, that was a crazy time. Oh, look at this. Has a knot in the middle of it. That's a bummer. Guess that's fine for what we need it for. So get my 24 inches. That is awesome. I am happy to have you here, Lynn, for sure. But yeah. Man, 2 years. Ugh, all that mask making stuff was not fun. And my brother made a ton of masks too. And so did my mom. And hey, hopefully we don't have to go back to that. Okay, there we are. Got my 3 strands out. All right, I'm gonna run this through the floss scent again, because why not? Oh, dang. Jill says, how ironic that it says, let it snow. I'm in Wyoming and have gotten 15 inches. Yikes. Today, and it is still coming down. Wow. So we're supposed to get that. It just started raining this afternoon, which is crazy that it's actually raining, because it's still like in the mid 30s, which is bizarre. But next week it's gonna quickly get down to like 0 degrees. I think we have a low of like -5 coming up next week. But it's supposed to rain today and like, I don't know, tomorrow, or it's supposed to start shifting into snow. late this evening, and then it's just not going to stop for the next few days. I think we're supposed to get about 14 inches as well. So dang it. But over in Wyoming, I mean, you guys are getting a ton. That's always whenever I think of snow amounts. I'm always like, oh my God, we're gonna get like 4 inches. And whenever I say that, my brother who lives in Washington, they get like 4 feet. So like every inch we get, they're getting like a foot. So I feel like, yeah, 4 inches. That's not that much, but we are supposed to get, I think, 14. So that'll be interesting trying to keep all that clear. All right, I think, what's a good path for this? I think I'm gonna start here, go down and get this one little one here, and then boop, boop. Oh yeah, that's a good path. So let's start here. Oh, let's weave in the end first. Enough. One. Two. Three. Ooh, you guys, so my brother and his girlfriend, they have the Sea to Snow Candleco. That's who we did the collaboration with for our floss scent and for the Relax and Craft embroidery box, where we have one of their candles in there and a scissors in the floss scent and our Alpenglow pattern here, our Alpenglow kit. So they have launched their website for a limited time. They're doing it, I think, through Friday, because they have some extra stock from all the craft shows that they've been doing. So if you want to check out more of their scents and grab another candle, check out Sea to Snow. So SEAT's T0 TO. Okay, let me do that again. SEATOSNO.com. So there's no W. SNO is the end. And they are having like a limited time kind of launch of some of their stuff. But yeah, if you wanted to snag an extra candle, and they're going to be shipping everything on Friday, so theoretically it should get there in time. And I think everything might go priority too, because it's so heavy. So that'll get it there. But yeah, definitely check them out. They're still working on the site and everything. It's going to get more fun stuff on there, but it is it's there to grab some other scents. I really love the Alpine scent. That's the one that's just like a yummy, rich, like evergreen. So that's really, really nice this time of year. And one of their most popular ones lately is Huckleberry. So that is just like a yummy, like huckleberry flavored or like blueberry flavored, just yummy, more food scented candle, and it's just delicious. So those are two recommendations, but I personally like the Alpine. Nice, classic, warm, evergreen smells. Oh, Rita says, I wish I could do this. I have tried and tried. Oh no. Well, if you want to try again, all our kits are great for beginners, and we have lots of how-tos, and we do videos of almost every pattern, and I'm here every evening if you have any questions or need help with anything. But I think it's just a super relaxing craft. It's not one of those crafts that take years and years to finish, or tons of hours. A couple good TV episodes and you'll get a piece done. So but yeah, I'm definitely here if you have any questions about anything. No thread things. I'm missing I'm not quite sure. I don't know what I was talking about, Robin. Thread things like I don't know what you're asking, sorry. Oh, thanks, Vicky. Vicky Lynn says her how-to videos are awesome. Oh, that's super duper sweet of you. We are planning on doing a bunch more like nice, short and sweet, get to the point videos in the new year here too. We're excited about that. So yeah, so if you have anything you want a video on, feel free to email me or let me know, and we make a list of suggestions like that. Okay, we're gonna get one more in here. I know I didn't really walk through the process of this chain stitch, but we got more chain stitch to do, and I can walk through the process then. I'm doing kind of the traditional chain stitch. Oftentimes we do the reverse chain stitch here, which is maybe a little bit easier to begin with, and so maybe we'll do that. We'll do both. So maybe I'll do like the reverse chain stitch to like, or I'll do like the normal chain stitch like from here to here, and then I'll do a reverse chain stitch from here all the way to here, so we can see both. But there we go. We got his little first halter on there. I'm gonna weave in the end. I'm gonna kind of finish. I'm gonna go like top to bottom here, I think. Oh, you know what? His like yoke thing is also chain stitch, so we can do some reverse chain stitch on there too. But I'm gonna weave in the ends. I want to get his face on, and I'm gonna get these little circles on. This is a weird way for me to work. Usually I would jump down and do this right away, but I really want his face done. So I'm gonna weave in my end. We're gonna get his face done. We're gonna go like top to bottom, finishing up this guy versus color by color. You know, maybe I'm wasting a little bit more thread because I gotta weave it in. You know what I could do? It's a little late now because I just wove it in, but what I could have done is gotten another needle out, and which I have. I got another one hanging out here, but I could have just like let this chill here for a while, gotten another needle with another color, stitched with that for a little, and then come back to this color. Oops. Ooh, I just flung that. But oh well, I thought of that as I was weaving it in, so the end. But okay, now I want to get his face in. That's just bothering me that I don't have his face done. All right, I don't really need a ton of thread, but we're gonna get my normal 18 inches or so. The only black is like his face and the snowman's little like coal buttons and eyeballs. Oh, and his smile too. So we won't do that till we're over there doing the snowman. One. Pulling out my threads one at a time here again. 3. Okay. Back together. Oh, Robin, are you asking? Maybe this is what you're asking. Do they have the floss scent on their website? They do not. So what did I do here? Oh, I have the 2 ends of one. Jeez. Let's try that again. So right now the floss scent is only available in the Relax and Craft box. I'm hoping to get some for next year, but we're trying some things out with that. Okay, I grab some of this. Oh, thanks, clever daydreamer. Zoop. And zoop. Okay. Woo, jeez. Almost flung that across the room. All right. And got a little bit of back stitching for his mouth. I think I'll start there, and then we'll do. I think I'm gonna do his mouth, then I'll jump up and do this nostril, then this nostril. Then I think I'll travel up the side of his face and then do this guy. And you know what? Instead of jumping across, I think I'm gonna go in the backs of these stitches from the halter. and come up here and then do this knot, and then I'll weave in my end. I was thinking I would have to start and stop a whole new piece of thread to get that eye, but no, I'm just gonna travel down and back. And the reason of traveling is so I don't have like one like black thread like going from one eyeball to another, because I think you'd be able to see that through the fabric, like especially if I hold that up, and I don't like that, especially when it's on a face. Sometimes I'll make a big jump like that, but I usually try and do it if it's behind other stitches so you don't see it. I know some people actually put two pieces of fabric on their piece so that they can hide the jumping around a little bit. Oh wait, I wanted to do this side first. Okay, we're gonna do 3 little stitches for his little smiley. 1. These are itty bitty stitches so I can get that effect of like a curve for his mouth. Clever Daydreamer is asking, do I know how to cross stitch? I do. I'd like to actually do a little bit of that next year. We're kind of playing around with some ideas for some cross stitch. I love cross stitch. It is fun. I haven't done it a lot lately. Mostly because it takes so much longer than embroidery. So like something this size in cross stitch, let's say like the whole thing is filled in with cross stitch, that could take me freaking 40 hours easy, I'm sure, on a piece that's this big. Whereas with embroidery, I'm gonna get this done in like 5 hours. And I'm gonna yammer and chit chat and all that at the same time. So I've been leaning into the embroidery just because it's so much faster. But there's something so relaxing about cross stitch, just like a counted cross stitch where you're just filling in those blank little areas with those little X's, and your pattern just kind of develops. It's just so fun. But to me, that's like a longer term project, like doing a quilt. But yeah, I do want to do a little bit of that next year, though, here in the lives. I think that'd be fun. Just because I know some people have tried embroidery, but not cross-stitch, and vice versa. Some cross-stitchers might want to get into embroidery a little bit. All right, there's that little eye. So now here is where I'm going to go into the back of these stitches. I'm just going to kind of travel down to here. And again, this is just so it lessens you seeing like this big, bold black line going from one eye to another. This one. There, now you can't see it because it's behind these stitches. So I'm gonna just get this guy's eye here, and we will weave in the end. And then I think I'll just do, I don't know, should I do those little circles? I don't know if I should wait to do these circles till I'm done with all the gray. I think I might. So, all right, let's weave in the end. One, two, 3. Snip. Jill, I'm not quite sure what you're asking. I've tried 2 pieces to, that's the part I'm not sure what you're saying, traveling, but had a harder time with it. Has anyone else had trouble doing that? I'm not quite positive what you're asking there. Yeah, sorry. All right, So these little like buckles or whatever, these little rings connecting his halter, those are blue. And so are all these little French knots and this little circle, this little ring right there too. I think what I'm gonna do is do all the rest of the gray first, and then I can stitch, I'll start here, I'll stitch this guy, and then I can kind of travel down his neck, get these 4 guys, and then or 5 guys, and then this little ring, like all with the same thread. So I think I'll wait to do, yeah, that till after the gray. So let's continue with the gray. I think, I'm gonna start with my new piece of thread. I do have a lot left with this one, but not enough to get it done. Actually, I don't think this new thread is gonna get it done either, but I'm gonna use the new floss and use this up first. Oh, I see what you're saying. Jill's saying like, to hide traveling. Okay. I thought you meant like actually like traveling with an embroidery piece. You mean like traveling with the thread, like if I'm bringing the thread from here to here, going behind the fabric. Okay, I totally get what you're saying. So Jill is saying that she's tried putting 2 pieces of fabric behind to kind of hide your stitches. Like how I was just saying, I don't like jumping from one eye to the other because you can see that line, especially with black thread on white. And I mentioned putting 2 pieces of fabric underneath, that some people like doing that. And Jill says that she's tried doing 2 pieces of fabric and has had a harder time with that because you're going through 2 pieces of fabric than just traveling along stitches like what I'm doing here. That's good to know. Yeah, I mean, and 2 pieces of fabric isn't necessarily gonna hide those stitches either, like if you're just jumping across with a big, bold black thread. Okay. Oh, Clever Daydreamer says, I know how to embroider, but don't know how to cross stitch. It looks difficult. I'm just trying to think. I don't think it's all that difficult. The thing that makes it simple, I'm just got thread attached to me, is that you're really only doing 1 stitch. Every once in a while, maybe you'll do a back stitch, but for the most part, you're doing 1 stitch, uh, and for the most part, you're working on an even weave fabric, which is like people call it, the brand name that people use is Ada. And those have holes in it, all like prepared basically for you, so you know exactly where to stitch. And you're just making an X, so you're going like diagonal and then coming back around and going diagonal the other way. And then if you have a whole row, you're doing a bunch of diagonals and then you're coming back the opposite way. So if you know how to embroider, it's an easy leap. I think it's just mostly using the correct material. So you want like that Ada floss, or not floss, the Ada fabric, and from that point, you should just be able to kind of count that. People have said it's tricky as far as like seeing, like it might be like tough to like see all those little squares if eyesight stuff is a problem. That Ada comes in different sizes, so like it's by inch, so like a size 10 would be like 10 squares in an inch, whereas like a size, I don't know, 30 or whatever, I don't remember the typical sizes, but like a 30 Ada fabric would be like 30 squares per or like square inch. So though that would be a lot smaller squares to fit within that inch. So you'll want to do one with a smaller number, but that would make your whole design bigger too. A good way is to get a kit from someone, and then it'll have all the fabric in there. And but yeah, if you have trouble like seeing, then that might be a little difficult. Oh, Amy says cross stitch requires more concentration because you're counting. Yeah, that's true. Jill says, yes, Amy, I agree. I relax more with embroidery and like to do it when I don't have to think. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. All right. Oh, what is the floss scent for? So first of all, I'm gonna start doing this yoke in a forward chain stitch. Actually, maybe I'll do the reverse chain stitch on here, and then I'll do a forward chain stitch for the rest of this, but then you can kind of see the difference between the two. And I think I started up here. So for the forward, I'll answer your question in a sec here. For a forward chain stitch, I'm coming up at the beginning of the row, and I'm making a loop, like, so I'm holding it here with my thumb and kind of making this loop shape, like going up and around, and then going back in the exact same hole. So see, now you can see I got like a finished circle here. I'm still gonna hold that thread in place, and then I'm gonna come up like a stitch length away. I've been doing like about 1/8 of an inch or so. And the needle is coming up. So I didn't pull this very far, right? Just enough to get my access to my needle on the back. And I'm pulling the needle up inside that circle. So then when I pull it tight, now I'm gonna let go with my thumb, my thread is stopping that loop, and it's giving me like a little cute little teardrop shape. And that is my first stitch. For the next stitches, I'm just gonna go right back in that same hole. So I'm going back inside that loop into that same hole that this thread is coming out, pulling the needle a little bit, and then coming back up on the line again inside that circle and pulling it through. So this is like the typical way that people learn the chain stitch. There's a reverse chain stitch, which looks just about the same. And I think it's much easier to do. So we will do that on the way back around. So I'm gonna do the forward chain stitch, and then we'll do the reverse on the rest of his like reins and stuff. The floss scent, so crafted by Margaret, the floss scent that I have here that I've been using, it's a thread conditioner. We just call it floss scent because it is scented and it makes embroidery time fun because it smells just beautiful. It's like having a candle right next to you while you work, and it just sets a mood, right? And it you know, you can actually smell it on the floss a little bit. It's kind of nice. But it's actually a thread conditioner. And and the thread conditioner, it's basically like a organic beeswax and like an oil, so like a coconut oil. So they use organic for both of that, like cosmetic grade, food grade stuff, ingredients. And what it does is it puts like a light coating on your thread. And that protects the thread as it goes through the fabric. So it protects from wear, basically. So when you're pulling your thread through the fabric a zillion times, like you are with embroidery, each time you pull it through, it's kind of that friction from going through the fabric is wearing away at your floss. So the thread conditioner helps that a little bit, and it can help prevent knots as well. Kind of keeps the threads together a little bit better while stitching. So that's the reason for it, but I like it just because it smells yummy. But yeah, hopefully we're gonna have some of the floss scent in our shop coming up next year. But right now, this is for a special embroidery box that gift box that we made this year. And with my brother's company, Sea to Snow Candle Co. So it has this Alpenglow is the name of the box for this year, the theme. So here's our Alpenglow embroidery kit. So Alpenglow is when, if you guys don't know, that's like when in the mountains when the sun rises and sun sets and just makes the mountains just pink and beautiful and everything's just lovely. That's Alpenglow. So that is the theme for the box, our first box. So we got the kit, we got the Alpenglow floss scent, and then we also have, I think I have it over here yet. yeah, we have their Alpenglow candle that smells freaking amazing, and then also our little purple scissors to go with all the other Alpenglow items. So right now that's the only place we have the floss scent. But I'm hoping to have that and some more scents of that coming up in the new year. It was kind of a fun little experiment for us over the past couple of months, like working on the like feel and consistency of it and the smells and it's awesome. I get to work with my brother and his girlfriend, their company, Sea to Snow Candle Co. So it's our first collaboration as well. All right, I am at like a pretty hardcore point here, and a chain stitch does not go around corners or points very well. So the problem is what happens is like if I start stitching this direction, like you know, I'm starting to stitch down here, the last stitch wants to slide down. So to prevent that, what we're going to do is, and you do this when you get to an end of a row too, but I like doing it on corners and points to switch direction abruptly. So I'm going to put a tiny, tiny little stitch just on the other side of this loop. And that will, it's like a little anchor stitch. It will anchor down our loop. So now that loop can't go anywhere. It is attached. And then I'm going to come back up just on the inside of my that like circle again, the teardrop shape. And now I can rotate and do, well, we'll not rotate, I'll do it down here, but like we can switch directions of the stitches here, and that the last like teardrop shape won't slide down this stitch because we've put that little anchor stitch in. If that makes sense. Going back here. Always dropping my needle. Pulling the thread out about at this point. All right, we have another like 15 minutes or so. Time went fast, I think, today. So if you're new, I'm here for about an hour every evening, Monday through Friday, and I start at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So we will end up here at about 9:30, which is in 15 or so minutes. I'm not sure we'll be getting done with all this by then. Hopefully we can get the chain stitching done. And if that's the case, then fine. And then tomorrow we'll come back and do the little like rings on his tack and the little like bells on the yoke here. I'm calling them bells. Maybe they're little rivets, but I think they're bells. So we'll finish that up, and then the horse will be done at that point, and then we can move on to Mr. Snowman. All right, I'm still doing that forward chain stitch, but I do want to show you tonight the reverse chain stitch. I do think it's an easier chain stitch to start out with. All right, I'm just switching directions. I'm doing whatever direction feels comfortable in the moment. I think I'm gonna have just enough thread to finish this guy. I might have actually I have a little bit extra. Okay, I might have enough to do a little bit more. Some of that reverse chain stitch. We're gonna do it. Maybe I can get from here to the ring with this much thread yet. Okay, here's my last forward, or just like your normal chain stitch. And now I'm at the end of the row again, so I gotta put like that tiny little anchor stitch in again. So just right on the other side of that teardrop, I'm just doing a tiny stitch and anchoring it down there. Yep, so the reverse chain stitch, Sally, that is what I'm gonna do now. So it is gonna look just like this forward chain stitch. It's just done a little differently, and I think this way of doing it is So much more relaxing and easy because you're not dealing with these big like loop shapes that I keep making with my thread. So it is literally the reverse of what we're doing. So how I just made that tiny little anchor stitch at the end to hold down my loop, I'm gonna do that at the beginning now. So I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna make a tiny little anchor stitch. So I'm gonna make the tiniest little stitch here. So just like that, an itty bitty 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 stitch. So I'm gonna let that be for the moment and I'm gonna come up down, a stitch length away, about 1/8 of an inch is what I'm doing. The same as what I did here. And this is where I'm gonna start my first stitch. So this is a reverse chain stitch. I am going to swoop under my needle under that tiny, tiny anchor stitch. So I'm not going to the back of my piece here at all. I'm just bringing the needle, kind of picking out that anchor stitch that we made, that tiny stitch, and bringing the needle underneath it. So I just went underneath that stitch, and now I'm gonna go back down into that same hole that I started out with this second stitch. And there we go. We got our little teardrop shape. Our little, that's our first reverse chain stitch. So the first one's kind of goofy because you do have to go through this anchor stitch. Here's how you do the rest of reverse chain stitches. I'm gonna do 2 more here. So I'm gonna come up a stitch length away again. Now I'm gonna swoop under, like my needle's going under both of the sides of that previous chain stitch. So I'm under the entire chain stitch of the last one. Coming out this side, and then going back in that same hole. And there we go. We got our second little chain there. I'm gonna do 1 more. So coming up right at the end here. And this is just why I like doing it this way is I'm not making like these big loops. I don't have like floss flailing everywhere. All I gotta do is come up, swoop under, pull that through, and then go back down. It's like just doing a couple, like 2 motions to get the stitch done, but I'm not dealing with loose, crazy thread everywhere. And I don't have to do an anchor stitch at the end. I'm just done. So that's all there is to that. How much thread do I have left? I think I can do 1 more. Like this looks like just 1 big chain stitch. So this one I'm not gonna worry about doing a reverse chain stitch. I'm just gonna make one single chain here. And then I think I gotta get a new piece of thread. So let's just, see it like I have this big loop here. That's kind of annoying, right? I gotta come up within that loop and do the little anchor stitch. So that's more annoying than just doing what we were doing with the reverse chain stitch, I think. So that's why I like the reverse chain stitch. Do I have enough for a little bit more? I think I'm gonna keep going. Let's see if I can get to the bottom here with the reverse chain stitch. So I'm gonna do it again. With reverse chain stitch, you start out with the tiny anchor stitch. So I'm gonna make that itty bitty stitch. There we go. And now we start our first chain stitch. Kind of squeaking underneath here. You gotta pick it out. You can leave it loose too. Like, I could leave it loose like that, but when I go through, I gotta just make sure to pull it tight again. There we go. And I can even pull it tight here too. There we go. We got that first half, and then going back in the same hole. There's our first chain. Let's do 2 more. I think I have enough floss for that. Yeah. Swoop underneath that chain stitch. Come out the other side, and then back in the hole. And 1 more here. Come up, swoop under the last stitch, and then back in the hole. And there we be. So I just have from here to go. I definitely don't have enough thread for that. So I do have my other bit of floss right there. I think that should be plenty. It should be just enough, hopefully. And we'll get that done tonight yet, I think. So definitely getting all the gray done. I'm just weaving in the end here. Ooh, get in there, okay. Okay, I'm gonna weave in these back stitches. That's gonna be easier. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Poop. Okay, and let's just gather this gray again. Let's get him back in the floss scent. I think I already put some on this, but let's make it more smelly. Zoop. Okay. Oh, nice. Lynn says, yay, I'm halfway done hand sewing the binding on my grandma's 1930s quilt onto the other side. So you're doing a like scalloped edge on that too. How's that working for you? I've never done a scalloped edged quilt, and I always thought the binding would be kind of interesting going around those curves. I did with my mom. I'm gonna weave in the end and do the reverse chain stitch again, but my mom and I worked on a project when I was visiting my parents, and we gotta make one of those like 14-foot continuous bias binding from one fat quarter. So we got to do that whole process. I think maybe I didn't go over that here. We'll have to do that here sometime when we make a binding, but that makes a bias binding, which is that stretchy kind of binding that works well on curves. Anywho, maybe I'm in the weeds here, but it was kind of a fun way to make a quilt binding. All right. For some reason I like holding like the line, having the line kind of vertical when I do a reverse chain stitch. So, all right, I'm going to start with my little anchor stitch. This time maybe I'll leave, well, never mind, too late. I was going to leave a little bit of the loop, but I pulled it. So starting, I'm going to the beginning of the next stitch. Let's pick our way underneath that anchor stitch again. I'll pull the anchor stitch tight again. There we go. And pull the floss through and then back in that same hole. And now we start where we swoop underneath the prior stitch. Then go back in the same entry hole. I think all this, yeah, this goes on the exterior. This goes on the outside of his leg and tail and stuff, which makes sense. So I'm gonna keep going till I hit the end right here. And then I think tomorrow we'll just start fresh on the new color. We'll get his little rings, the bells, and then we'll move on to this guy right away. And I think if we still have some of that blue on the needle, the little like skate part of the sleigh is that same color, light blue, so we can maybe get that done and out of the way too. Where am I at? Here we go. Okay. Puzzle. Oh, Lynn says, so far so good. We will see how the scallops look when I get a bit farther. I bet you they look awesome. Tonight I should be able to tell how it's going to turn out. Nice. That's exciting. Oh, thanks, Darlene. Yeah, I'm liking how this is turning out. He's turning out so cute. We got him all dressed up now in his yoke and reins and all that stuff. And we'll put on his little bells. All right, we're gonna have just enough thread for finishing this up. Love when that happens. Swoop. Meow. Need sound effects. Okay, and two more, and we got it. Oh man, I love this reverse chain stitch. It really is relaxing to do. You don't have to fiddle with all of the loose loopies everywhere and coming up, inside the circle. Like, none of that. It's just pretty chill. And there we go. All we gotta do is pull that through, and we're done with that. Let's weave in the end, and that's our reverse chain stitch. And that's all the gray on the horse. So, like I said, we just have the blue of his like little rings on his harness, and the same blue and the same French knots for the bells on his yoke. I'm calling it a yoke. I like that. Okay, great. So I think that's a good place to stop for the evening. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be bringing out a new color here, the winter morning color. So yep, the rings and these bells, and then I think we'll travel down and get the little like I called them skates. I think that's probably, hopefully that's the normal word for this part, and these little nubbins there. Oh, and all these bells too. I'm calling them bells. All these French knots are that light colored blue too, so might as well get those right away. Actually, might as well at that point get the snowman. The outside of the snowman is that light blue color too. So maybe we'll just like do the light blue tomorrow and be done. And then I want to get the sleigh going. So that's the darker blue. So we got these two blues. Oops, flying around here. These two blues coming up as our next colors that we'll be playing with. But all right, I'm loving where this is going. So awesome, you guys. So thank you guys again for hanging out with me here tonight. This is our embroidery of the month, and it is available. It's going to be continuously available, but it's available with a couple little freebies. We have our little like Let It Snow gift tags that come with it for the month of December. And if you subscribe, then you get it at subscription cost for December as well. So that's the deal, everyone. And I'll be shipping and stuff tomorrow yet, but today, so if you order today, this is kind of, we're saying this is our like last order today for not guaranteed, because you never know with the post office, but you're looking pretty good if you're getting it shipped by now to have it for the holidays. So that's that. We'll be shipping afterwards though as well. It's just a little more shady if it's going to get there before Christmas. So thanks again, everyone, and have a lovely rest of your Tuesday evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.